Here's a trick question. Do you love gambling? It's actually an illusion of choice. The only answer is yes, because you play a gacha game. And if seeing your Dorito dust drain to get a shiny new PNG wasn't already exhilarating enough, how about adding some more RNG to spice up your gameplay? Let's go. It's Module Madness time. Yeah, so what if I ate my McChicken off the floor? Okay, it wasn't my fault it landed on the ground. Kyobi was fighting me for it, and she shoved it out of my non-existent hands. I mean, I wasn't just gonna let a perfectly good McChicken go to waste. Ark is a silly guy that I actually haven't talked about a lot despite being an overall fun op to use. He's of the poorly named Geek Specialist branch, meaning over time he'll want to grill himself. I take that back about the branch being poorly named. Ark's first talent gives him a chance to trigger a stun, slow, self-heal, or crit whenever he attacks. Doing elementary school probability math, each of these attacks has a 25% chance of happening since he's guaranteed to trigger only one of them when he attacks anything. His second talent increases his own self-healing effectiveness by 20%, clearly affecting that self-heal shot from the first talent. You have to evaluate Ark's talents with his branch in order to see how everything meshes together. The thing is, Ark can only heal himself if he's shooting someone in the head, so if you don't have enemies trickling in or a dedicated healing source, bro might just decide to end it right then and there. Even if you do feed him enemies, Ark can peace right out because he wants to destroy everything and not preserve himself. And you know what? I can kinda see where he's coming from. Sustaining him is already bad enough, but if your name is the Fang21 and you're really hot and handsome and love doing specialist dance clears, you may or may not have to plead on your knees for Ark to do specific shots like stun or slow ones. Now, this is the part where I talk about a skill relevant to the specific mod I showcase, but Ark's mod transcends to the 11th dimension and doesn't actually care what skill you put on him. Kinda like Rosa. It's just a flat out amazing buff for him, but in a very silly way, which I think is pretty awesome. Ark's module has way too much text that I struggled fitting it all on the card you're seeing on screen right now. It is a massive paragraph dump, but that's exactly why I narrate these videos, because insert hilarious Ian can't read joke. The trait buff increases his SP regen by 0.25 if he's above 80% HP. Assuming the trait's always up, it can decrease the downtime of his third skill by 7 seconds and the downtime of S1 by 6 seconds. Obviously, you're not gonna always have this trait up unless you have a dedicated healing source on Ark, but even if he doesn't have a trusted guardian looking over his shoulder every 2 seconds, Ark can still benefit a lot from having slightly shorter cooldowns. I'm not gonna read them out individually, so to sum it all up, all his shot effects from his first talent are now better. Basically, the slow and stun lasts longer, the heal heals more, and the crit does more damage. The talent upgrade adds a very silly 5th effect to his attacks. At mod 3, Ark's attacks now have a 30% chance to trigger all the effects of his first talent at once. He'll do the bigger damage, heal, slow, and stun all in a single shot, though technically the stun makes the slow redundant since the enemy isn't moving in the first place, but stun immune bosses exist, so that's not too terrible. What's amazing is that because Ark gets a new 5th shot that combines everything, the chance to get the specific effect you want is only a 47.5% chance, which sounds illegal since there are 4 effects, and 4 times 47.5 is more than 100, but they're not mutually exclusive anymore, so everything is okay and reality isn't broken. Combining all the different hits into a single attack is funny, but remember, every effect now has almost double the chance of proccing compared to your measly 25% without mod. This means Ark's crowd control is better, his damage is better, his sustain is better, there's less RNG grinding. Literally everything about him is better. It's a pretty good mod that simply makes Ark a much more impactful unit instead of purely delegating the DPS melee buffer rule to him. Oh yeah, I'm starting to feel sick. It definitely wasn't the McChicken if you're thinking that. No, I can't treat myself. I'm not a doctor. I lied about my MD on my resume. Yeah, I'll go see a doctor. Flametail has 2 mods on CN, but we're gonna focus on the one that's in-game on Global that you can get right now for the low price of 9 tier 5 mats, because the other one is just kinda bad. Flametail's first talent makes her next attack hit twice and hit enemies equal to her block count after dodging. This talent sounds terrible by itself because it seems like Flametail doesn't have any innate ways for her to trigger it, but considering her second talent gives all Casimirs and Pinus Sylvestris ops 22% physical dodge, it's not too bad. Off skill though, these talents don't do a lot. We have to look at Flametail's third skill in order to see what she's really cooking. It increases her attack, decreases her attack interval, and gives her 80% physical and arts dodge. Flametail gets 1 more block count and generates 1 DP per second while the skill is active. Even though in-game the dodge has a plus sign in front of it, making you think it's additive with that second talent of hers, she doesn't actually get 100% physical dodge. Dodge stacks multiplicatively in this game, so Flametail only has 80% arts dodge and 84% fizz dodge, but 80% is basically 100% if you roll enough dice, so Flametail is invincible to all damage except true when the skill is up. With the increased attack and decreased attack interval, Flametail becomes your next cheese grater, and she'll have more opportunities to trigger her first talent with the extra block count. Dodging and counterattacking becomes the bread and butter of Flametail's kit, and this skill has the potential to absolutely decimate waves of enemies if you cycle it properly, which isn't hard to do because of its low downtime. Why would I build Flametail if all I ever want to do in life is use Slack Pipe and Mountain? Also, I'm really fun at parties, I swear. Well, you're not wrong, hypothetical person that I'm mocking, but maybe you should live a little. Also, Vanguard Knights. Mountain doesn't exist in Vanguard Knights because he's a guard, so Flametail becomes the replacement Mountain as a great AoE lane holder option. Instead of Mountain's natural HP regen, Flametail has dodge to keep herself alive, which is a give and take. The benefit of this is being able to stop the unstoppable, tank the untankable, something that the bulked up furry can't do very well. However, off skill, Flametail becomes more susceptible to attacks, and even on skill you might be smashing your keyboard because she refuses to lend the 80%. Flametail's base mod reduces her DP cost by 4 on her first deployment. The talent upgrades buff that first talent, giving her dodge counterattacks a lovely 20% extra damage at max mod. While the base mod doesn't do a lot for Vanguard Knights since that niche has no trouble opening stages, there's some childish joy within me that loves seeing all my ops cost less than a pack of gum. The extra damage from the talent upgrade is extremely substantial though, because remember, Flametail's next attacks after dodging hit twice. The buff is also attack scale, something that scales very well with Flametail's third skill that increases her attack. The mod can pretty much be summed up with she now lane holds better and does more damage, which sounds lame, but we love gambling, and our return on investment is significantly increased whenever Flametail dodges. It's very simple, she just has to dodge. So if you're a Vanguard Knights player or Casimir's op player, have fun suffering intense emotional damage whenever you see her get hit while her skill is up. I suffered through that pain, and now I pass that burden onto you. Anyways, that's about it. Goodbye. Alright, I have this pretty bad stomach ache and headache. I think I might be getting a rash on my non-existent legs too. An experimental treatment? Sure, I'll hear you out. Uh-oh.